Hello everyone. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. It would really help the channel out quite a bit. Thank you very much.
Small incidental things that happen in the routine of everyday life. It's these small things, so familiar to everyone, that make up the private lives of Ethel and Albert. We'll hear from Ethel and Albert in a minute. Every minute of the day, somewhere in the country, a traffic accident is happening. One a minute. That's almost 1,500 in a day. 1,500 people either hurt or killed. The accident rate isn't going down, it's going up. In the 4 months following the end of gas rationing, traffic deaths jumped 37%. Why? Many reasons. Fast speeds, careless driving, driving when drunk, unsafe cars. Driving, at best, is a cautious business. When you slide behind the wheel of a car, you hold a potentially dangerous instrument in your hand. Although driving may seem like the easiest and safest thing in the world, it takes just a moment of carelessness to send your car smashing into something. Some years ago, an article appeared in a national magazine. It was called "And Sudden Death." It described in vivid passages how accidents occur, the pain involved, the tragic consequences. When you finished reading the article, you felt shocked, horrified. The article wasn't a pleasant one, but accidents themselves aren't pleasant either. It would be well if we would remember this not-so-pretty side of driving from time to time. It would help decrease our startling accident rate. Safety is entirely up to you. You can never afford to take a chance with injury or death. Remember the ABCs of safety and always be careful. Now, Ethel and Albert. It's early evening in the Arbuckle home. Ethel is looking over the evening paper, and Albert is looking at the small straight chair in the corner by the radio.
Oh, what the heck's the matter with this chair?
No, the rung is loose.
Haven't we got any iron glue?
Somewhere.
We had some. Ought to be in that kitchen drawer, shouldn't it?
But you have such a mess in that kitchen drawer, I don't know what's there.
Well, I might as well get at it. I think I'll go look for some glue, see if I can't fix that thing. I'll get it. I'm on my way past anyhow. Hello. Yeah? Who? Oh, hi, Kitty. Yeah, just a second. Ethel.
Kitty Rawlings?
Yeah, she wants to talk to you. Look, honey, if the glue isn't in the kitchen, where do you think it would be?
Oh, you may have taken it to the basement. You just have to look around, dear, or else look in the box in the back entry. You've got a lot of stuff in that, too. Hello, Kitty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, how's the bride-to-be? You quit working now, haven't you? Yes, I thought. How's Dave? Uh-huh. Oh, come now, a lover's quarrel. Yes, Albert does. Oh, it reminds me of something, too. Huh? What do you mean? Why does he refuse? Oh, isn't that silly? Well, I don't know if it'd help any, but I'll ask you. Huh? I see. Hold on a minute. What? Never mind what? I wasn't looking for the glue. I'm talking on the phone. Honestly, hello, Kitty. Yeah, well, I'll talk to you. I've got something to say about that myself. The other day I was cleaning out the... What? Yes. Sure. Yeah.
I found the glue.
All right. Okay, Kitty. Yeah, when he comes over.
There it is.
Yeah, now don't worry about it. Okay. Goodbye. Honestly, Kitty and Dave have had a quarrel. The wedding is next week.
Oh, what's the matter with him? Now, let's see what's wrong with this
It
chair.
seems they had a quarrel over the wedding ring.
Oh, why? What's the matter? Does she want a fancy, expensive one, I suppose?
No, not hers. No. Seems the trouble is over his wedding ring.
Oh?
Mm-hmm.
Look, get out of my
Seems
life,
that
will you, honey? I can't see anything here. This chair's not too substantial anyhow.
Be careful with it. It belonged to my grandmother, and it's rather fragile
I
now.
know it is. That's why I want to
Well,
fix
now,
it.
listen, I want to tell you, it seems that Dave doesn't want to wear a wedding ring himself.
Oh, well, they'll patch it up. Oh, my golly, all these rungs seem to be loose. Maybe I better fix this side, too.
Anyhow, Kitty remembered that you wear a wedding ring, and she thought you might talk to Dave.
Honey, you're standing right in my light.
I'm sorry. sorry.
Look, as long as I'm fussing with glue and everything, maybe I better take this all out to the kitchen and fix it out here, huh?
Yeah, well, wait a minute. I'll come out, too. I'll talk to you.
Honey, you don't have to come out. I can fix it. You trust me just to glue the rung in the chair, don't you?
Yes, dear.
Well,
But I want to talk
all
to you
right, then,
about
if you're going
something.
to tag along, make yourself useful, will you? Gotta have some newspapers put on the front. I don't want to get glue all over the
Oh, here's one. It's last night. You read it, didn't you?
front. Yeah.
Well, anyhow, about this wedding ring business. Oh, there's something I've been meaning to mention for some time, Albert. I've noticed that you don't... What? Who? Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, so maybe I've heard it. Quiet just a minute, huh?
I was just up there a few minutes ago. You sound asleep. Listen, I've
Well,
noticed
now,
that
get
you
these
don't...
papers down.
Albert!
Okay, I don't know what happened to it. I've lost it.
I noticed you weren't wearing it.
Well, I apparently took it off and mislaid it, and I haven't said anything because I kept thinking I'd find it again.
Oh, well, I assumed as much. I knew you probably felt badly about telling me you'd lost it. You sure you just mislaid it, dear, on the house?
Yes, I just mislaid it. I looked high and low for it.
Mm-hmm.
You say I didn't say anything because...
No, you
what do you
hadn't
mean
mentioned it
Kitty
to-
wants me to talk to Dave? Huh?
Because that's what they've quarreled about. He doesn't want to wear a wedding ring, and she wants him to. She wants a double ring ceremony.
Sex, what difference does it make?
Kitty wants him to wear one. She's always liked the idea of her husband wearing a wedding ring.
Well, seems to me he ought to have something to say about it. Women are always trying to make a man do something he doesn't want to do.
Now, listen, I never tried to get you to have a double ring ceremony. I didn't care, and you knew it.
I know.
It was your mother that liked the idea.
I
Yeah, all right.
know
I
it.
just remembered. Kitty did. I made her happy, and I sort of liked the idea anyhow.
Yeah, I know.
Be careful now. That chair's fragile.
All right.
Anyhow, Kitty wants you to talk to Dave.
Well, I haven't got anything to say to Dave. That's his business.
He's putting up this terrible fuss about wearing one, and Kitty thought maybe you could make him see your point of view, dear.
My point of view?
Yes, he's got all these crazy notions.
Hand me the glue, will
Just
you?
see... Oh, dear. After all, there's nothing really nicer than having your husband wear a wedding ring, too. I think it's a beautiful symbol. I mean, it's just as Muriel once said, every time you see a man wearing a wedding ring, you always think, well, there's a man who loves his wife so much he wants the whole world to know. What's the matter?
Hand me one of those kitchen matches, will you? So I can put the glue on with it.
Wasn't that what you think, dear, when you see a man wearing a wedding ring?
Yeah, well, that's one way of looking at it.
I don't see if there's any other way of looking at it at all. After all, that's what a wedding ring stands for, a symbol of wedlock, being bound in matrimony. You should have heard what Dave said to Kitty.
Yeah, what?
Makes me
Gonna
so...
get glue all over
Dave
the place.
said that when he sees a guy wearing a wedding ring, he thinks, boy, there's a henpecked husband. Can you imagine? Now, why would he think that? Can you imagine that?
No accounting for
So
what
mad.
people think. We're all entitled to our own opinion.
I know, but I don't see why a man wearing a wedding ring makes him seem henpecked. Oh, and another thing, he said it was just as though Kitty didn't trust him.
Here, look, honey, you want to hold
Yeah,
this? Hang
yeah,
on right
oh.
here. Will you hold these two parts of the
Yeah,
chair together
all right.
while I tie it with this string?
All right.
Now, look, don't sit in this
Yeah.
chair for a couple of days.
No, I won't. All right. Did you hear that? He
Hmm?
said it was just as though Kitty didn't trust him. See where trusting him has anything to do with it. Have you ever heard of such nonsense?
No? Yeah, I've heard of it.
What does it mean?
Well, Dave's got a point. Just as though Kitty were branding him.
Branding him?
Well, I don't mean branding exactly.
It
It's,
makes the wedding sound as though it was some sort of a rodeo.
well, I didn't mean branding. I meant that it looks as though Kitty was saying, now you wear this wedding ring so all the girls you meet will know that you're a married man.
Well,
Well,
yes. Is that bad?
oh, look, let's stay out of this Kitty and Dave business, can't we? That's their problem.
She's going to be calling in a few minutes as soon as he gets to her place, and she wants you to talk to him now.
I'm
I wanna
nothing to
get-
say to him. It's his business.
No.
Come on, now let's get this chair glued. Hang on to it tighter, will you?
All
Look out,
right,
down the
yeah.
rung is slipping out. Hang
All
on.
right, hurry up. Get it tight.
Yeah, wait a minute. Now let me get this. Very good string. I ought to have cord.
What's wrong with a girl looking at a man's hand and seeing a wedding ring and knowing that he's married?
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. It's...
Seems to me it's a good idea. Every
Yeah.
married man ought to wear one, particularly in this day and age. Remember that Miss Kelly? She went out to dinner a couple of times with some man, and she didn't know he was married.
Who's Miss Kelly?
The girl in the dentist's office. I think she sort of liked him, too. She said she thought it ought to be a law that men wear wedding rings.
Hold on to the chair.
I am.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Eh.
Now, this other one.
She said if you get introduced to some nice man who seems like a perfect gentleman and he asks you out to dinner, you can't say, well, are you married?
Well, if he's married, he hasn't got any business asking her out to dinner.
Well, it would seem, dear, that whether he has any right to or not, that there are those who do and know it as well as I do.
All right. Hang on to the side of the chair. Now, come on, hold it tight while I tie the string around it.
All right. Just as Muriel said one time, Even the happiest married man doesn't like to give other girls the idea that he is not eligible.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it has made me think twice about you sometimes, too.
Oh, come on. Don't be so silly.
Yeah, I remember the time you came home and asked me if you had that married look, and I said, why? And you said you overheard one of the new stenographers at the office ask Mabel if you were. Mabel said yes. And the girl said, I thought so. He has that married look. You remember that? Remember that? He talked about it all evening.
Oh, no. Ah, there, now. Now, let's hope that holds. Now, look, put the chair over here, see? Now, don't sit on it, honey. Takes 24 hours for that glue to really dry.
Yeah, now listen, when Dave calls, I wish...
Look, I am not going to persuade Dave to wear any wedding ring. I can't persuade him if I wanted to, and I don't want to anyhow.
Why?
Well, because he's probably made up his mind, and it's none of my business. There's plenty of men that feel that way.
Oh, who?
Well, Walt does, for one.
Walt?
Yeah, he's mentioned it a couple of times when he saw a wedding ring on some guy's hand.
What did he mention?
He said that when a man wore a wedding ring, he always thought, well, there's a namby-pamby milk toast for you.
Well, he's always so cynical anyway.
Yeah, just the same.
Listen, all I want you to do is tell Dave that it hasn't hurt you any wearing a wedding ring, that you didn't mind it, that you... Did you?
No, of course not. As
Oh,
soon as we
well,
get
I
on our
think
feet financially, I mean, as soon as we have some extra money, I'll buy another one to replace the one that I've already lost.
Oh, I got a surprise for you. What's the matter?
Huh?
Come on in the other room. Come on, I want to show you something.
What?
Come here. A little box in the desk I put in here last Saturday. I've been meaning to tell you about, and I forgot until tonight when Kitty phoned about this. Here, your wedding ring.
Wedding ring? Oh, hey, well.
You'd never guess where I found it, honey.
No, where, honey? I'll be darned.
I found it in the toe of that old pair of brown shoes of yours.
No.
I wouldn't have found it for months if I hadn't gotten so disgusted with the mess on the closet floor, and I cleaned it out. I heard the little rattle in the shoe, and here was the ring.
Well, I'll be darned. It must have dropped down, and landed in the shoe.
I know. That's what I thought.
Oh.
I thought that was the funniest thing. You're this little rattle, and that must be Kitty. She'll want you to talk to Dave. Wasn't that crazy, my finding it like that?
Yeah.
Albert's going to be so surprised when I tell
him. I'll be doggone.
Oh, yes, Kitty, he's right here. Put Dave on. Okay. Here, honey, here. Now, just say anything, I've got to run upstairs. I think I did hear Susie.
I don't want to talk to him. I mean, he won't listen to me anyhow.
Yes, he will. Tell him how you feel about it, dear. That's all you have to do.
Hello. Oh, hello, Dave. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Common sense. Yeah, logical reason. Well, look, I don't want to disillusion you, my boy. You'll be married in a week, and then you'll find out that logical reasoning with a woman is just finding a way of proving that she's right. Yeah, well, you stick to your guns while you still got a fighting chance.
Well, at least Albert is a good man to give advice. And speaking of advice, here's a tip for you. Henry Morgan's got the kind of humor that's it's like no other kind you've ever heard. It's original, and it's strictly from imagination. On the usual comedy show, you'd expect a 50-piece orchestra, a glamorous girl singer, and jokes that remind you of some you might have heard before. You get those on Morgan's show? No. You may get a bagpipe player, a yodeler, unusual music, plus Morgan's zany humor. But fair warning before you become a dyed-in-the-wool Morgan fan, this is not a show to make you think. Morgan's likely to go into the importance of such subjects as how to squeeze toothpaste back into the tube, or any other subject that happens to pop into his mind. For a howling good time, hear the Henry Morgan Show when it comes your way tomorrow night over most of these ABC stations. The Private Lives of Ethel and Albert come to you each weekday at this same time. The show is written by Peg Lynch, who plays the part of Ethel. Albert is played by Alan Bunce. The program is produced by Bob Cotton. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.